From Pennsylvania is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is not about politics, though there are some if they want to suggest that it is, because if they yell loud enough and long enough, it'll deflect the truth of the matter. And frankly, it's not about gotcha. As a former prosecutor myself, the Attorney General personifies the pursuit of justice, and I want to see him do well. But it is about accountability. Agent Brian Terry is dead, protecting our border, and 563 days later, the Terry family still does not know why it occurred. What they do know is that the very agency that initiated Fast and Furious, the Department of Justice under Attorney General Eric Holder, called the operation fatally flawed, and then the wagons got circled. It's about the separation of powers. As uncomfortable as it may be, at times it's a fundamental tenet and a strength of our democracy that Congress has given not just the power, but the responsibility to exercise its duty of executive over the oversight over the executives, especially when, by their own admission, things have gone glaringly wrong. Because the Justice Department has stubbornly resisted the legitimate inquiries of Congress over Operation Fast and Furious, there's so much we do not know. But because whistleblowers within the Department of Justice were outraged at the mischaracterizations, there's a great deal that we do know. What we do know is that we have been dealing with a systematic effort to deflect attention away from the decisions and the determinations that were made at the highest levels of the Department of Justice, where information was brought directly to individuals at the highest level of the Department of Justice, information that was contained in wiretap affidavits that lay out in explicit detail the matters related to Fast and Furious. Mr. Speaker, there is a famous quotation in the Department of Justice about the responsibility of the Attorney General not being to win cases, but to assure that justice is pursued and retained. Mr. Speaker, it is incumbent and a responsibility on this House to do what is required to do in this circumstance and to support the request that we be given the documents to obtain the facts that will allow us to draw the conclusions which I believe will allow us to get to the bottom of this level. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Gentleman yields.